Good morning, everyone. It is Wednesday. It's middle of the week already. It's 6th of April, 2022. Welcome to FYI. For your information, I am Jaretta Finance alongside none other than Sherrod Duncan. So, good morning to you, wonderful folks out there. Good morning to you, Candy and Naleen Inderjit. I see you've been here early this morning. Beatrice Selvi, Vashti Magnot. The family is up and about early this morning. So it's so good to see all of you. Make sure you start the day off right here on FYI.
All the regulars.
Make sure that you are sharing the live stream. Make sure you are hitting the emoji buttons. So all of those good things in the morning. It's always good. I think it was Beatrice, if I'm not mistaken. I may be mistaken. That says just go for a nice walk in the morning. Who was that?
I hope everybody goes for a little walk.
But folks that went for a good walk this morning, you should be up, energized, optimistic. Those early morning walks are good for your spirit, good for your soul. Anybody
get the blood moving, get the thoughts flowing.
Yes. Anybody that's a little miserable in the comment section this morning, we recommend long walks.
Long walks. Get in touch with yourself.
Get in touch with yourself, your soul, your inner being.
But so many folks joining us. Tian Willerson and Sharon Alfonso Evans. I see Jennifer Smith, Rowena Williams, Colleen Sarah Andrews. Good to have so many of you up so early, guys.
Yes, it's love your top. Okay, somebody rename me there. Janita.
It looks good.
I like it.
Sharetta.
I like it. I'm gonna take that one.
Janita.
Deborah Lynch, good morning to you this morning. Deborah, how are you doing? Folks, let us know where you're joining from every single morning. Let us know. And it's been a while since we've been in your business asking what you're having for breakfast. This morning, we're going to be asking you, what are you having for breakfast? Where are you joining from? And what are you having for breakfast? Let's see the diversity in how persons
what you guys having for breakfast? And y'all don't lie.
Don't lie. Yes. Come on. Let's be honest.
We know it takes a little tight. Tell me what we're having for breakfast.
I forgot to bring my my bar on this morning, my breakfast bar.
Oh, your breakfast bar.
Yes.
I'm just having some tea. See this morning, a little brackish, but we can take it.
Oh my goodness.
A little
this is an indictment.
Is the milk? I think it takes real tight.
Limited milk.
Limited milk. Folks, we've pulled up a chair just for you guys. Where were you? Come true. Chin Sing Henry and Angira Paradise. Who else do we have?
Naomi have a comment there for you, Sharon.
Naomi says she goes on a long walk, but please don't video it because it might become a sex tape actor. Pim. Guilty as charged.
Good morning, Rudy. How are you this morning? I see Anthony Nicholson is here this morning. FYI family.
Yes, Rudy Hines.
And Anthony is joining us from the west side. All the folks on the west side. Ganish a little delinquent. He's
Deborah Lynch
coming on.
Good morning, Ganish, if you're watching us. Lennox Anderson and Cherry Baskin Robbins. Good morning to each and every one of you. It's Wednesday already, Trudy.
Yeah,
Wednesday already.
Hump Day Wednesday. Guys, do you remember this conversation?
Moving on.
Right? Hump Day Wednesday, the middle of the week, after the middle of the week, it's downward.
I actually thought yesterday was Wednesday. What? I don't know why. I kept thinking that yesterday was Wednesday.
You want a week to go out fast.
The time is going, though.
I've had those days.
We're 6 days into April already. Mm-hmm. And we got to push. Folks, whatever you're doing, whatever plans you have, whatever plans you're making, you got to pick up the pace a little bit.
I see it's done. Sullivan is saying good morning. Bachelor's Adventures in the house.
I used to live that piece of time.
Bachelor's Adventure? Seriously?
Yeah.
My gosh.
I'm married out now, though.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm married out now. I know somebody who live in there, though. John Doe. Bachelor's Adventure.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. I move out. I marry out, I move out.
Oh, my goodness.
Ricardo says,
Ricardo is saying that, Ricardo Charles is saying, I'm having nut and banana porridge.
Nuts in the banana porridge, or is nuts by itself?
No, you put the nut in the porridge. And actually, what you should add there, Ricardo, is you have to add honey instead of any sugar. Yes, you have to add honey.
Okay.
Sharon has not been in this lifestyle.
You're grating the nut in? How are you doing it?
No,
like
you
flavored
just,
milk?
No, you put it in.
Almond flavored milk? Almond nut?
You can, no. You can put the nuts in the porridge. You can do with...
You chew your porridge? I don't understand. How are you thinking this?
You eat your porridge. What type of porridge you have?
You eat, but I ain't got
porridge. You thought... Well,
I like smooth porridge.
So
we can chew and all
like
that.
Oatmeal. If people are doing oatmeal in the porridge form, they can put that, and then they have different things you can do.
But still, I don't see it chewing oatmeal. You might have to
You can eat it with a.
I understand that, but I don't intend to be chewing.
You can literally take the banana, like if you are doing sweet fig banana, you can just do the sweet, cut it up, and then put in some nuts and put some honey.
Okay.
Yes.
You're different. You're bushy like that. I mean, more bushy means more complicated. But for you, you're nuts. Maxine Cameron and is it Lynetta or Cindy Fraser?
Yeah, the name is difficult at this end. Match Janice said, I'll take the easy one. Joining from Manhattan this morning.
Yeah.
Match
yeah. Lambert, I've always asked Lambert, send us a voice note with this surname.
It's not some banana flour. I don't I'm a little confused now.
Margaret Nelson says no lumpy porridge around here. I with you, Margaret. No lumpy porridge. Please and thank you.
Different if you're having oatmeal is different. Oatmeal is the only porridge you can actually put those things in.
Well, oatmeal porridge is the only porridge I can think
you will stay away from.
No, I like oatmeal, but and I don't mind it being a little thick and so on. But not.
You see, Naomi Drucker say yes, that's where it's done. You see, thank you, Naomi. You're repping. Good. Sure is not this.
I can buy me can nuts and eat separately.
Just like Henry says, a complicated part.
Very much so. This porridge has an identity crisis. It's a snack. It's porridge. It's nuts. What is it? You can't make up your mind.
Oh my goodness.
Very complicated porridge. Roxanne Aaron, we see you there, and Cherry Baskin.
I feel the need to do some tomorrow morning.
Porridge.
So that Sherry can understand what we're talking about.
I'm just seeing the nuts in there.
It's actually healthy breakfast, very healthy breakfast. If you add oatmeal and you put the bananas and the nuts and the honey in it.
But why couldn't you have them separate? Why you have to have it all in one bowl? I don't understand what cook-up porridge is this. What kind of cook-up complicated porridge is this?
The Jamaicans make a nut flour.
A nut flour. Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So,
Interesting.
Okay.
I know you got all kind of flavored milks
Naomi
these days.
Naomi shared with his Milo tea.
Well, yes, I got some brackish tea bag here this morning. Like milk limited item.
It's a milk.
Just going along, people. We're just going along.
Oh my goodness.
Desrian Bacchus Roche, we see you there, Desrian. And Warren Figuera, I saw those eyes earlier. Warren asking the question, where's gone?
Who will really benefit from the porridge?
Yeah, it's true. It's who benefiting? Why we need all this nuts and honey and
it's a healthy porridge. It's for longevity. Life altogether.
What kind of longevity?
Nothing has been implied.
That sounds like something for the back.
FYI, it's a morning show.
Something for the back.
This is a night show content. You guys bring me here.
I just said nut, honey, oatmeal with a sprinkle of cappadula bark.
So Beatrice is saying that it's her son, Damien Selby's birthday.
Hi, Damien! Happy birthday!
Her only son.
Wow!
So happy birthday to Damien Selby, your mom, Beatrice.
Happy birthday to you. Go right there.
Special.
Happy birthday, Damien.
You know, Warren is on a go this
What's Warren saying?
These comments.
Oh, Warren Figuera, folks, from Long Island. Let us know where you're all joining us from. Warren said bullets for the back.
He said gun. What did you say?
He said bullets. I saw one there.
Bullets
for the same thing. Same thing. Bullets for the gun. Bullets for the gun. Cindy Fraser says the show took a turn. You're right.
So,
let me bring it back. Take the wheel, Jesus.
From Bartica.
Take the wheel, Jesus. Take the wheel.
Alex Prowell from Bartica. Yo, a lot of stuff going on in Bartica.
Hold on. Donna Barry says she's having plantain and eggs, sausage with a cup of something. Let me see if we can take it back. A cup of something. I want to see that. With a cup of bush tea. What kind of bush?
Oh, a cup of bush tea.
What kind of bush is that? I hope it's not with some wild grass or something. What kind of bush? You got a lot of bush on it. Tell us what kind of bush. We'll be happy to hear. Donna Barry and Latoya D'Souza, we see you as well from Bartica.
Yes, I am seeing all the folks on Bartica this morning. So I see Latoya and Alec and all those folks, interesting enough, last night there was a back and forth on Facebook, on social media, that social media platform.
About what?
With one of the things, because folks, you would remember that on the FYI program and our affiliate programs, we spoke about the fact that the issues with the bells in Bartica, a lot of attention was raised as it pertains to the Speedboat Association
and the election,
right? And there was an election, and the election basically voted in a new president and so forth. Well, the past president, which is Stephen Bell, is doing everything in his power right about now to challenge the legitimacy of this body. Mind you,
you going to court?
No, actually what he's going to do, because he's a PvP counselor, so what he's trying to do is to utilize these avenues to see who he can get to interject on his behalf. So I believe tomorrow they should be having a meeting with the Ministry of Labor,
Yeah, but I mean, in the larger scope of things, the Bartica Boat Association, it's a small entity. Why you need to be president so bad?
Well,
why couldn't you wait another turn?
Do some good work. Based on the information out there, his presidency expired 2 years ago because he was supposed to. The presidency lasts for a year, and then there wasn't an election, a proper election after for a president for him to be re-elected. But yet he has been served 3 years instead of 1 year.
3 years you've served already, and you want more?
Right.
Wow.
So a whole lot going on there, but I think the conversation was started yesterday because there was a notice that he placed on his Facebook page that about the speedboat fare, what it should be and should not be, and the contention. I got into that because Bartica is home, This addresses this benefit affects me altogether, and it affects the persons in Bartica. But the contention is the authority that he has to pronounce on matters. He's no longer the president of the association.
And he dictating what the fee should be. One person?
No, it doesn't matter. That wasn't the issue. Was not about the fee. Mind you, the speedboat, before he was removed from the presidency, the speedboat was going at full capacity, charging $3,000. He still saw no issue with it. I traveled with the boat several times after that, and he saw no issue with that, But now he wants to go and create a little issue ahead of this meeting tomorrow. So we're going to be monitoring that.
Wow. Interesting.
Monitoring that.
Interesting things happening in the Bartica. As usual.
Lots. But it's interesting that it's just this one name being featured in all of these issues.
Yeah. People just like 3 years in, you still want another term. When are people going to serve? When are people going to...
Come on.
A
lot's going on there. A whole lot going on there. Release our comments, Sharon.
Release the comments.
Release the comments altogether.
Charlene Juice Henry says, pace and power. Yep. Bebop Charlie says, Bartica song is corrupted altogether.
No. Bartica's beautiful. Listen, there's a few folks there that try to defame.
Fighting on the stellar, fighting in police station.
Fighting for power. Every single thing. But we're going to deal with that. The people of Bartica are going to be dealing with it in a very amicable way, looking for proper solutions so the community can move forward as a united group of people.
Yep. Hopefully that happens. Hopefully.
Yes, we hope.
I'm more fight and break out. Hopefully. Where are we this morning?
Have no fights, guys.
Where we there this morning?
We are, I just saw a comment, but before I could have gotten to it, it's gone.
Alana Tang, good to see you there. And Nandi, Melissa Lewis, Gavin Liverpool, Richard Sipasal says up top. Sipasal says up top. Indeed, up top.
So Facebook user is saying that they had donut middle with, what? Is it donut middle? That's what I read.
Some people have all kinds of stuff for breakfast.
Donut middle, but that's nothing with orange juice. So you just had orange juice.
Damn, but your stomach real bad. Oh, that's citric acid there. It's early morning. You need something to line and to coat your stomach first, and then you control all the acid in.
No, boy, didn't tell me that. I used to drink orange juice. Just like
you see what the problem is now. Yeah, see where the vibrate goodness come from now. It's all that. The acid strong.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, you can.
All the acid in the body.
Yeah, but a lot's happening.
Yeah,
I wanted to jump into what is going on. In the morning papers, we can start there.
Tell me when the morning papers. That's what you want to know.
Well, the discussion that is to be had of what's going on in morning paper. You see, a cop was charged with negligence in the case where the rape complainant died by suicide, but the case thrown out as charge declared as bad in law. How does that? You have a little background in law.
I don't know so much about the charge, but I know that I know the matter was a terrible one. This had happened on the East Coast, I think somewhere between Cove and John Police Station and the other one there, just before you get to Victoria. What's the area there? But just between those two police stations, this young lady had gone to report that she was raped. And they had treated her very badly. They interrogated her as though she was the perpetrator. Right? And they, asked her a whole host of questions. It's like, it's more about your sex life than you really want to get to the bottom of the matter. And then they had a confrontation at the station with the fella and her and the police. Right? So the whole matter was dealt with very badly. The young lady was very distraught and depressed by the way that the police had handled it, among other things. In fact, she was raped too and took her own life. But the matter was altogether dealt with very, very poorly by the police. And so this was an eventuality of that they didn't handle the case very well at all. But as you said, the case was thrown out because it was declared bad in law. Maybe it was the wrong charge, maybe something of that nature. I don't have a full brief of all the particulars of the matter from the case end, but I know at the station end, the way you should deal with allegations of rape, especially women coming forward, right? It was poorly handled, and this teenager took her own life, unfortunately, as a result of all that transpired. They doubted her, right? They started accusing her of wanting to scandal the fella. It was a whole pack of nonsense, And that's one of the challenge we continue to see here. People, especially women, go to police station, you make certain allegations, and then people say, oh, we can get the man and woman story. And the next thing you know, somebody ends up dead, and then people take it seriously. It's a bizarre way in which we deal with things. It's like, we say they have a 3-step of solving problems, just put a line around the hole. Well, the first thing they do is it's man and woman problem. That's the line around the issue. And then when somebody takes their own life, then everybody says, oh my, we should have been more careful. But the young lady, unfortunately, is no longer here with us. Unfortunately.
You're speaking about it, and I am recalling none other than the DPP had actually spoken and say that well, we're going to get to that a little bit later in the program about the amount of sexual offense cases that are being reported. So you can't have so many reports of sexual offense cases, but then it would be interesting to look at a comparison as to how many reaches the level of the court as from the number being reported, and you would understand better that the systems being utilized at the level of the complaint is not being effective if the matters are not being elevated to the level of the court, right? Because persons are turning away themselves, are being turned away, whatever attitude or actions that they meet at that initial stage is stopping them from elevating that case to the level of the court.
And you're perfectly right, because I can see if this young lady hadn't taken her own life, how this matter could have just been brushed under the carpet, you just feel so helpless in the whole system as a young person. And you say, you know what, this isn't worth it, right? I can carry myself differently and forget this whole thing ever happened. And so you never would have heard that this happened, but the fact that the young lady took her own life. So folks, the whole scenario, we can get to the court end, just at the police station and what took place, how they grilled her, as though she was the one who had, done this to someone else. You wouldn't think she would have had somebody violate her in this manner.
A lot of times women go to the police station to make reports, and before the police pen could get to paper, the amount of I can say harassment that they go through, that they just decided they want to do it all together, and it gives the impression that is the attitude of some of the police. I have to say some, because some are way different and they apply themselves very well. But I believe that the overarching issue is the fact that the police are not specifically trained to deal with these issues. You can't just have somebody going in with for example, this particular matter, a rape case, somebody going to make a report, and you just have any random person on duty just deal with it. It can't work like that.
And then the line of questioning,
you need specific training.
I don't know the questions.
Deal with that.
I don't know the kinds of questions that may have been asked, but they said the questions were out of line.
Yeah.
I can imagine people asking you, how many times you had sex, how it felt,
if
what
you
position.
ever went with somebody before, and all of those
and then,
things.
That's particularly what happened, as you said that, because I think the young lady had a boyfriend.
Yeah.
And they were asking her, how much time do your boyfriend have sex, and where, and when, and the frequency, and it was bizarre. The whole thing was handled very, very poorly. Yeah. Very, very poorly. The whole matter.
And until you literally fire people and said just set someone as an example. Basically, you're gonna see this continuing. We continue to say on this program all over that the issue that we're having is because there are no consequences to actions altogether, right?
Yeah.
And people are looking, but what the police force does is just move the problem around. They probably move that problem around to some other area for a different set of people to have to experience.
But Commissioner of Police acting, Clifton Hickens, he seems to want to do things differently. We're going to talk a little bit about him later on in the program and some of the things he has been saying. And I think Trish is perfectly right. We got to make some people an example, right? And the rest go follow the line. Make some folks an example. And too many times, not only are these matters brushed aside, but the infractions committed by officers too. People try to protect each other, protect their colleagues. But if you know the right thing, do the right thing. And there must be some standard operating procedure in dealing with these issues when they come to a police station. Somebody comes to the front desk of a police station and say, I was raped. What is the first thing? What's the SOP on that?
Yeah.
Right? I would hazard to think that we have that, but why isn't it being followed? And I keep hearing, you talk about training, but I keep hearing too about a lot of training for sexual offenses and how police should deal with it. All the time you see it happening, and this batch and 19 people and 20 and 40 persons were submitted to training.
But the issue is, let me give an example, right? Because I'll give this as an example because this is a glaring issue to me, right? I happen to have the privilege of doing a research, of being part of a research team that was specifically dealing with matters of sexual offenses and gender violence altogether. And one of the things that we pointed out, especially when it comes to that first level of reporting the matter to the police, I did interviews personally with women that were sexually abused, women that suffered domestic violence and all of those things. And the issue and they're saying point blank that they are not treated with any ounce of dignity and respect when they go to the police station at the first level. I can say that was research that I did. It's not secondhand information. But I want to say this on top of that. Region 7, where I live, Region 7 is large. Bartica is just right there at the beginning, at basically the gateway to Region 7, but there are other communities up in the middle and upper Mazaruni. One of those communities in Middle Bartica is a community, Ramadan area, and I can tell you that there is just one police outpost up in the Middle Maz there, and there's absolutely no female police officers there. And one of the SOPs when women go to make reports is that a female police officer have to deal with that person. But now there isn't no female police officer at that police station altogether. So how is it comfortable for women to even think that they can go to that police station and make reports? Because the standard operating procedure goes out the door because there's no women, So a woman can't go. If a woman is to go there to report that she's raped now, she have to go to a male, report that the male have to accompany her to the doctor.
The point is taken. The point is taken.
It's crazy.
The point is taken, and Hickens got his job cut out for him. Or whoever is appointed eventually as a substantive commissioner of police got a job cut out. But I have seen in the recent past police who have been part of such training, but I think the problem is putting the training into practice on a daily basis, and on a consistent basis that gets the kind of results that we need, and we need to change
consequences.
We need to change this stereotype that policing is a man and woman story, and that's the first approach that they take. That this is a man and woman story. The woman is guilty, and we gotta try to prove now that she's innocent in the way in which we go about doing this thing. That instead of innocent
and until proven guilty.
Yeah. But that we have to look at that in the long term.
Definitely.
What else in the morning papers? What else? Anything else we need to touch on?
Well,
before we get into the trend,
I don't think we need to, because a lot in the morning papers things that we're going to be touching on in the trend itself this morning. But I can point out that Gcom told that Norton and Lawrence will be new MPs, and so we look forward to both Aubrey Norton and Valda Lawrence
I think
being
that's on the trend too.
in the National Assembly. I can just point that out from the beginning. And that's about it as we go through the morning papers this morning.
Fired up, we're ready to go.
Most definitely.
Where are we starting from? Internationally?
Always starting internationally.
There.
Well, Zelensky have a lot to say right now.
Definitely so. Definitely.
I think this is coming to something you said a little bit on a few programs earlier when it comes to what. Yes.
Oh, I see. You know, all the folks joining us, we want to welcome you who are now joining us, now tuning in. Welcome to FYI, folks. Share the live stream, smash that emoji button. Some of you get so caught up in the conversation and abusing out in the comments, you forget to do what you need to do. Share the program for us, share it to your profile, share it to your friends' profile, share it to a page or a group you might be in, so other folks can get the information as well. And folks, do us the biggest favor of our lives, one of the biggest, and smash that emoji button for us. So again, the program gets picked up in various places on social media, and other folks can benefit from the information as well.
As we release the comments and we go
release
along,
the comments. You just say release the comments.
We have to release the comments. You know, it's very important for us to get the feedback. Clifton Smith. Oh, I saw my name, but Clifton Smith is saying I didn't get a comment. I missed the comment. Nevertheless, guys, as we go on to the international, what's going on the international front, you know, we're seeing there that Zelensky has something to say. You know, Zelensky said, remove Russia or dissolve yourself. And Zelensky is saying this to the UN Security Council.
Yes. So
we have touched on this, you know. We have touched on this some bit, and I dare say that that he kind of make a point. You know, because if this is the UN Security Council and you expect them to be able to and geared and equipped to come and settle disputes as they should and have a resolutions and for us to get to solutions as a world in a timely manner, as opposed to what was done in the olden days. This is the whole reason we have all of these bodies in place. And Zelensky is of the opinion that they are not doing what he expects them to do. So he's saying that he wants them to remove Russia or just dissolve yourself, because he is implying that he doesn't see them functioning as should if
Don't
they are
let me
not
waste
able
time.
to do that.
Don't let me waste time, you know, because we can't come and sit down at a meeting and pretend all is well and good when you have a country you're considering for war crimes,
spewing across the streets.
Hence war crimes and all that. You come and you sit down, and they're part of the one of the largest decision making bodies in the world, and you come up with like everything is normal.
Yeah.
And again, we kept saying over time since World War I and II were fought that we're going back here again. And then
hence
you had
all of these bodies.
Hence all these bodies. You got NATO and the UN and this and that, all of it. And yet we are here. Yet we are still here. So we got to act differently. We got to act differently. And so kudos to Zelensky for saying, you got to throw these people out.
Most definitely, I say kudos to that. But guys, you remember that we spoke about what is going on in Pakistan and the political, as persons reported, as the political crisis, and how and a lot of persons, a lot of speculations being made. We're picking up some bit of that out of Al Jazeera, right? And it says the Pakistan Supreme Court is looking into the legality of the Prime Minister Imran Khan's unexpected move over the weekend to block a parliamentary vote against him and then call for a snap general election. The Deputy Speaker of Parliament, a member of Khan's party, threw out the no confidence motion that Khan had widely been expected to lose, ruling that it was part of a foreign conspiracy and unconstitutional.
Wow.
So Pakistan have their own deal going on there, but very interesting. We will continue to follow this, guys. But one thing I want to note is that as it is being said and reported here correctly, so that he was widely expected to lose this no confidence vote, but now because that this position has been put forward, for need of a better word, and they're talking now about foreign conspiracy being the actual creation, actually pushing the creation of this no confidence motion altogether. I can tell you that it has been reported in lots of international newspapers and online news media houses that his ratings have gone up way above that which it was before. So whatever he's doing there, he seems to know what he's doing.
I hope so.
He seems
people
to know
of Pakistan hope so. That country has been a little turmoil for a little bit.
I pick my words very carefully when I'm talking about these matters of these international political.
But respect the manners to the Pakis, nonetheless. But what's interesting too, we have a sense that them boys here won't call a snap election too.
Well, I've been getting a lot of calls asking me if that is the impression that I have. But I'm too full on it because yes, that they would do anything to try to hold on to power. But then again, I think that in the same greed and zest for power, that I don't know if they want to risk going to an election to lose that all. I think they would be wanting to milk it.
The trouble is that they need badly legitimacy on the international stage. They need badly that. And I think that's why they're going to press forward and try to, strangely enough, Twitter, they lie me with me a little bit, so they think there's me.
Well, I can assure them, the polls will remind them that they're not.
That's what I think, he's lying with me, so we something rubbing out. So call it early election.
Me didn't just call it, me didn't call the snap election after being in the position that they're in at all.
Me started with a full house, winning everything in the National Assembly. And then she did it again, win everything again in their National Assembly, in their legislature. But these guys seem to think that if you stand in a garage long enough, you're going to become a car. So that's why they're trying to follow suit. Well,
oh my God.
Go right ahead.
Well, on that note, I just want to segue and just a reminder for persons that the process of registration is ongoing, and if you are not registered, get out there and get
out there right now.
Because at least you are not.
Get out there right now, guys.
With an election that the persons are not prepared for. We have to be prepared for anything with these people. I'm telling you, it's crazy.
Yep. Thank you, Margaret Nelson, for that comment. And Marilyn Thomas and Winston Carr. Spice Man, how are you doing? Probably from Granada. And Marilyn, we're going to give you guys an update, I promise, on that and the elections petition in very short order. Ingrid King, we see you as well. Folks, thanks to all of you for joining. Smash that emoji button for us. Get caught up in the conversation. Yes, get caught up in the warfare happening in the comment section. Suzette Washington and Carol Rollins and all the other folks. But smash that emoji button and ensure you share the broadcast, guys. Do that for us. What else we got?
I want to go on the regional front. What's going on in the regional front?
What's happening there?
And in Trinidad,
the Trinidad,
Kid Rowley has a way of communicating that is unlike any other.
Different in Trinidad.
I remember one time, a reporter asking him a question, and he just closed it straight up, and he's done. That's his response. And here you have another similar circumstance in which there was these accusations of what is called the spy lie, and the prime minister responded to Kamala, and what he said, his response was 3 words: "It's a lie."
It's a lie.
It's a lie. Continue.
You know what I like about any place else but this country? When the prime minister, I think Barbados is the only place got a president now, like us. When they had a state, when those guys hold a press conference, when they speak publicly, you could borrow something, you learn something. It's only here.
Yes.
Right? It's only here. You're worse off. You left the press conference more vexed than you went into it. Right? Any place else, you learn something. You learn how to articulate. You learn a new word. You know, your vocabulary is improved. You learn some new phrasing, how to phrase words better. But only here. And Keith Rowley, I remember the last press conference he had where he was, well, not the last one, when he was quizzed on what Mr. Jagnew had said about Trinidad. You know, he said to one of the reporters, right, the English language is very straightforward for those of us who use it as a mother tongue. Very. So what he meant to say is, I couldn't be clearer.
Yes.
Right? I couldn't be clearer. And here he said, you know, it's a lie. Right? And here, the former Prime Minister of Trinidad, who is the leader of the opposition, some people like power, you know, like power bad. Leader of the opposition said that they were spying on citizens and you know, all manner of people, all categories of people.
Basically, as it says here, that the Prime Minister Keith Rowley was responding to claims from opposition leader Kamala Prashad Bisasar that government was spying on people in all walks of life, including politicians, its own members, the media, members of the business community, trade unionists, and members of the judiciary, business persons, and journalists.
I think she got your country wrong.
I think that's.
I think the country wrong. It's Guyana's, them boys, right? Our phone tap. We understand that. You understand that?
Yeah. You know, sometimes sometimes you're on the phone and you're having an important conversation. You say, "Y'all hear that?"
Right? Yeah. Hope you're writing it down. We understand that. They follow you. They trail you. They surveil you.
We're getting to a point that
we're obsessed.
We write a note on the paper, then we burn it.
Yeah. That's it. You pass a note in a year, but he said, this will self-destructing. Them boys surveil you, surveil your family, tap your phone, right? They tap, everything, right? So the country wrong.
My God.
She was right, but the country wrong. It's Guyana.
My goodness.
Right? It's Guyana. Them boys surveilling. Right? Good luck with that. Good luck with that.
Coming out from the regional.
Right? Scraping through your Facebook, looking for something, as Naomi Drucker said early on, you know, you can't go for a walk in peace. Don't post it to Facebook. Right? Then people digging out stuff and cutting up, Photoshop.
And all that is going on with no solutions to the rising cost of living.
Which we're going to talk about. Let's say it's not. Let's say it's not, Rita.
Yes. Well, on the local front, one of the things we're looking at is what was said. Basically, be professional and stop harassing persons. The top cop tells all police sergeants, you know, be professional.
And I giving him points for this. I giving him points for this. I giving him some points.
He is saying the right thing there. He is saying the right thing, but you know, all of these things, we often say that we are in a country where a lot of right things are said, but not right things.
The actions, right? And let me tell you all something. I have nothing against Mr. Hickens. As a matter of fact, I hold Mr. Hickens in high regard. Mr. Hickens is like a little brother to me.
Sharon, how old are you, man?
Hold him in high regard. Hold him in high regard, right? But Mr. Hickens campaign a little bit. I understand that. You don't get a job fully. You got to do a lot of stuff, you know, to prove that, you know, you're up to the task. He campaigning a little bit. Let's just put this out there.
Yeah.
Right? As political folks. He campaigning a little bit. I saw even the I think it was the Georgetown Chambers of Commerce came out and said that he should be appointed as the substantive commissioner of police. They come out to campaign you. Listen to me.
Listen, Georgetown Chamber of Commerce came out to campaign. Let's not just.
They're campaigning too.
That is moments after the president, I think, was reelected.
It's not a chamber. It's a mouthpiece for the government. So the government does something, and then almost in clockwork, right? You can count the hour, half hour, hour gone. Boom! It comes out on the either the private sector commission or Georgetown Chamber. Yes, we endorse this. That's it. Right?
I think I see.
That's the work that happens, you know.
It is to the point. I believe that I see them even doing paid ads for certain spokespersons.
It's a set piece. It's a set piece. So
preach a narrative. For the
you got this PR team, and they sit down, you know, in the same room, and they say, "Oh, government will say this, and then I need a response from you. We get one from you as well. Legitimacy.
Yeah.
That's what they're looking for. Legitimacy to the program. We're starving.
Yeah.
Right? We hungry. This is not belly full and hungry. This is belly empty and we hungry. Right? And then boys want you to believe it's good for you. Right? Things tight, but it's good for you. Right? We can get through this. Everybody can benefit from the oil money. Right? But your pocket empty, No pay increase, nothing. But it's good for you. So that's what they do. But before we veer off, Hickens campaign a little bit. Let me accept that.
Yes.
Right? If you had gotten an acting post, you understand you need to put your best foot forward. And this is part of putting your best foot forward. All these communities you're going to visit.
Yep, I was just
right?
about to say it.
All these children you're going to surround yourself with. Right? As written too.
It's a proper campaign.
Campaigning. This school, that school. It's campaign. You understand it? Let me accept it. We big people. We big, man. We big. We stupid. We big.
But out of that,
campaigning.
I'm hoping that out of all that is said, that our systems are actually put in place to back up the talk, because a lot of times we can give advice. And
I think that's the difference. I think that, and this is not an endorsement for Mr. Hickens, but I've engaged Mr. Hickens several times. I think he's a fairly decent fellow.
Okay. I haven't had the opportunity.
I think he's a very decent fella, and the politics will work itself out, right? And he got to do what he has to do. You can't just sit down and hope this thing will come your way. He got to do, and then the political actors at the top, like me, we can do what we got to do.
Yeah. Well, we have said, and I just want to make this clear, and the contention and that was had with the appointment of Mr. Hickens, and I said it, and I was very clear, and I hold on to my position that we need to separate the personality from the actual issue.
And let me give you an example, right? No, the court can determine I'm not the judge, not even one of the lawyers. If somebody breaking in my house, and Mr. Hickens outside, you think I can say, well, I do not recognize you as the legitimate Commissioner of Police. Do not try to stop this bandit from murdering me. Mr. Hickens, you better try your weapon and come in here. Yeah. Right? Don't let me get tired with the issues. I think that's how we tie ourselves up. Right? The thing is going to figure itself out. You're going to be taken to court. The police is going to be taken to court. And they're going to be taken to court. I don't know, with nothing in a long time. Oh, that's going to happen. Right? But the police got to do what the police got to do. At the end of the day, right? Go into communities, build relationships. Right? The private sector going to do what the private sector got to do as an organization. Got some beautiful people in the private sector. Right? That national body of businesses and so on. Some beautiful people. But as an organization, they can do the PR for the government that they got to do.
Yes.
But you got to keep moving forward.
Yeah. But on that point, I just want to close by saying that, yes, you're saying be professional and stop harassing persons. And I agree with that messaging 100%. But also I'm saying that when you say something like that, you have to put the mechanisms in place to make sure that that is followed through with. At least it's just be idle words. And that's not something that
Which is what we talked about when we were looking at the first issue in the morning papers. Right? Be professional, but then you got to give the training to the officers.
Correct.
And then the officers got to practice the training on a daily and consistent basis to get the kind of result.
And most importantly, this is my go-to, is that you need to have consequences for action.
Beautiful, beautiful. I want Hickens to take a drive up the East Coast. Not in a fancy vehicle with lights flashing.
Guys, he needs to have a disguise program. Bought this undercover boss.
I want to go with you too. It's the idea. Undercover boss. Go up the East Coast. You can see when you bank a turn, sir. You not go far, Once you pass UT Road, you bank a turn, so you can see an officer run out from behind a tree and say, pull over. You can see an officer flick out from behind a tree and say, pull over. Right? He didn't even know why he pull you over, After he pull you over, he can go around the vehicle looking for a problem, He didn't know why he pull you over yet, Nothing wrong with you. He just flick out, dance out, roll out, hop out. Right? Like a trench crapo. From behind a tree, and he can pull you over. And then he look around at the lights to see if a light break. He go around by the exhaust to see if the exhaust beating right. Right? He's smelling the fumes to see if he got in the right oil. He don't know why. So he's saying the right things. But practice. The practice now. Gotta go in. The actions gotta follow. The system.
Do not speak about changes. And this is not to him. I'm talking about all of the ministries all together, all of these bodies, the agencies. Don't speak about changes if you're not putting systems in place that will create the avenue for the actual change. And don't talk about change if you're not putting consequences, that if it is not done in this way, these are the consequences to the action. That's the only way you're going to get actual change.
Marlon Thomas says it's cheap talk like moonshine.
Yeah. But as we move forward, guys, we have some more to cover. And
cheap talk like moonshine.
I see Kanu to work closer with the judiciary. Say bail for repeat offenders. It's worrying Kanu.
Kanu
is saying that. Kanu is saying. Now, what is going on here?
Yeah,
we're doing our work on the ground. We're getting these persons in before the court, but you're putting them on bail repeatedly.
Yeah,
so Kanu has an issue there, and I have to say that I understand.
Yeah, it's understandable. The frustration is understandable. But you know what? Just like how the private sector, some actors in the private sector would sit down with the government and say, all right, we can support y'all. Whatever y'all shout. We ain't opposing nothing, right? That's the premise we're taking. We ain't opposing nothing. We agree. As soon as y'all put out something, we put out a statement and say, yes, we agree. It's a good idea. We don't care what it is, right? If even the government said tomorrow we're closing down private sector commission, the commission would say, yes, it's a good idea. in the same way, you know what? The judiciary, the point I'm making, the judiciary and Kanu got to sit down, right? It's quote unquote law enforcement agency to deal with the law and see how they can work together, right? And solve some of these. We got to solve problems, not only identify them. We have to solve problems in this country. And we don't find that happening a lot.
Well, I fully agree. I fully agree with what you just said and endorse that. So a lot of work to be done there. But we stand with Kanu.
We stand with Kanu.
With that call. You just said
Kanu.
Kanu. Okay. Guys, as we move forward on what's going on the morning trend this morning, we see the case with the theft at drug bond. We have been following this for some time. It's a probe into the theft of supplies from the Ministry of Health drug bond at Diamond Wide. And we're seeing here that the director of the MMU, the director of the Materials Management Unit of the Ministry of Health, Cecil Jacks, was arrested on Tuesday in connection with the investigation of theft of drugs from the Ministry of Health drug bond there at Diamond East Bank, Demerara.
Yeah, and you know what? Part of this discussion is happening nationally. People want to believe that this has been happening for a long time, right? This has been happening for a long time. People thieving out the government drugs and selling it out. People believe that.
Well, I would further say, when it comes to accountability for these specific things, I've been looking through several years at the level of the Public Accounts Committee, and you see all sorts of things. Where I had an example when I spoke about the issue with the fuel and the way in which the accountability for fuel that ministry workers are utilizing from the pump stations are not properly accounted for on many occasions, and how many years these things have been dated back from. So definitely more tightened systems need to be put in place to guard against this altogether. And like we are seeing right now, persons need to be put before the court when it comes to these matters. They need to face the consequences. And I'll be following this particular story very closely because it's going to be setting an example for other persons that may be doing the very same thing.
And again, we gotta move past just identifying what the shortcomings are and solve this problem. How do we solve this problem? In any organization,
that's always right? My thing.
There's always a level of pilferage because you always get a trench crap on and a jackabat can thief something, right? There's a level of pilferage. How can we bring it down? As much as possible. And if you got people who conspiring with each other, they can thief out the government stuff. Something is wrong there, Something, and I don't know. You got people strangely who work with government, and then tomorrow you see them, and it's similar to whatever role they were playing in government, right? So, like in this case, you could see persons going to open a whole pharmacy if they already got pharmacies open.
Well, that's the thing,
right? You can see somebody in IT. You're gonna hear tomorrow they got a big store.
Who is it being supplied to? If they're stealing it from there and selling it to pharmacies, the pharmacies know that this is the arrangement, so they're getting it cheap, and all sorts of things come out in the investigation. But we're not gonna speculate as to what was done in this particular case.
And just imagine you had a guy one of the guys who was arrested and charged early in this investigation. One Mr. Williams. He had offered the police 1.7 million.
Yeah. So you understand what's going on there.
1.7 million he offered the police to throw the matter to forget the case.
And not to forget the case, to forget him.
Right? And now we see, as we said when we introduced the topic, the investigation widening.
Yeah.
Lots of people, let's see how far it goes. Let's see how far. I hope it doesn't happen like the Sharon Hicks issue, the PS of Ministry of American Affairs, where you have this, the police involved in the matter.
Yeah.
It seems as though you have everything you need, but then you need a legal opinion too from a DPP.
Well,
hope it doesn't go that way, because like when the people are big officials, then you just need legal opinion all of a sudden. When it's small fishes, right? You need legal opinion.
But the length of time in which these opinions are processed, Sherrod,
very slowful. You got people with 2 years now, people waiting on legal opinion. Knock down and kill somebody, you waiting on a legal opinion 2 years. That law is either write slow, read slow, something funny wrong there, right? But we're looking to see both what happens in terms of the penalty and also how we fix the system. And these guys are not too good at fixing things, we're realizing that. Roads opened yesterday, broke up today, right? Roundabouts built, that ain't really wrong. A whole set of funny things happening.
My goodness. Well, we saw the consequence of that, not so wrong roundabouts.
Yeah, and we can see more. We're going to see more right there.
Hopefully not.
What else we have, Judah? What else we have?
As we move forward, one of the things that we identified this morning, a little earlier in the morning, is that the sexual offenses among a majority of cases for the Demerara criminal. You see, when we were talking this morning about the I see Sherry Duncan is distracting me here in the background. Guys, what we were speaking this morning specifically about the matter with the young woman, and what I can tell you all is that we refer to this because being reported is that there are 174 sexual offenses cases
of the 554.
Exactly.
Of the 354,
right? Listed to be heard, and 75 murder cases, right? And these numbers are very startling to me as a woman, right? As a woman, these numbers are very startling to me because, again, I must say that the issue is, and this is to be heard, right? These cases have not been heard as yet. These are cases that to be heard. And I dare say sometimes we see a lot, and we make a lot of fuss at the beginning when we hear of certain cases and certain matters in the press, but then no one really follows through as to see what is the finality of these matters, and too many times these matters don't get to any resolution in which anyone is punished.
Correct.
Specifically when it comes to sexual offenses, I think these are some of the more difficult cases that are put before the court, because a lot of times the victims are so traumatized that the whole experience in going through and testifying and all of those, a lot of persons just back off from it. So again,
very
we
correct.
need systems in place that is going to provide that environment and that mental safety net for persons to be willing to go out there and speak out against these things.
I think too, part of the challenge that we have when looking at these issues, again, is that's a low number. And we talked about the fact that, people could get so frustrated in the system, not even to report it. So really and truly, the formula we should use is to multiply by 4 to the second power. If we say 154 offenses, sexual offenses cases are before the court, the number could be way higher than that of offenses being perpetuated, but not even being reported, or sometimes not even being actioned when reported. That's the other part of it. This can be the tip of the iceberg. And again, we gotta solve the problem.
But a lot of work needs to be done, and I dare say that as a community, as people, we need to be supportive of victims that are coming forward, instead of victim blaming and further victimizing the victims. This is a case, this is a matter, and a lot of us are guilty of going out there and just casting judgment before the persons can even face the court.
Agreed.
We need to stop that nonsense.
Agreed. This other issue we spoke about earlier. Our colleagues in the coalition heading to the National Assembly.
I see. We see Mr. Aubrey Norton and Valda Lawrence names was submitted to Gcom. And I was saying a little bit earlier, I was pushing ahead of the actual trend. But we are still looking forward to both Mr. Norton, Aubrey Norton, and Valda Lawrence there in the National Assembly with us, and for us to have a full house on the opposition side in Parliament, so that we will be able to address all the issues and push forward.
More players coming on the field?
Well, it's always good. We need a full house in the National Assembly to deal with the issues that are before us. So most definitely, we're looking forward to the presence of Aubrey Norton there and Valda Lawrence. And guys, I just encourage you to be as supportive and continue to do your part and make sure that you hold the administration accountable just as much. Just don't always leave it to the members of parliament to hold the administration accountable, but it is important for you to do your part, as you do every single day. When you get up, you join these programs, you share the information, you speak out against any atrocities that is happening that you see. Continue to do that, and we will be doing our part now with a full house. And that is very good. And I see one of the things that I want to highlight at this point, Sherrod, is that I noted a matter in the newspaper, which it was Newsroom that reported that there was a fake document at Gcom. And for me specifically, I want to get to that.
Talk to us.
Like, forget about everything else. How is it that Newsroom was in possession of this document from Gcom? No, from Gcom.
They are intent on painting the opposition a certain way.
No, I don't care about any of that. How is it that a document was sent to the head of Gcom and then Newsroom have it?
Interesting question.
Right? What is this seamless relationship, apparent seamless relationship between Newsroom and the head there?
But the issue is, how does this become news before somebody getting into contact with the author of the letter and asking, we just want to clarify this?
Yes. Who from Gcom sent that to Newsroom?
And say we got a letter here. It looks like somebody pretending to be Granger sending a letter.
I think sometimes we treat some matters very lightly that I think need not to be treated lightly. Like, we have Gcom is a system. Gcom has persons working there that we need to have trust in. The country needs to have trust in. The government went all linked when it comes to who they believe they could trust and who they believe they can't trust at Gcom. I see no word of condemnation, nothing being said to the fact that the document was sent to Gcom and Newsroom is issuing a photo of that document. What they're saying is a photo of that document, and absolutely no one being alarmed by this. I am extremely alarmed.
I think in addition to that, what is being done? Gcom itself now and Parliament, right, trying to keep Valda and Lawrence and Aubrey Compton Norton out of the National Assembly as long as possible. So if you bring up all these issues, it's another day lost. Yes. Write another letter, send it, verify, go, come back.
Mind you, even the point at which the length of time that it took for the correspondence to be sent from the level of Parliament to the head of the list, and then you say, oh, well, nobody is there. But no letter was sent.
And then there was also the issue of Parliament and Gcom, right? Gcom saying Parliament has not notified us as yet, and then Parliament saying, well, we hear from Gcom as yet. It's madness in this little country of ours, folks, in other countries, right? You got a tongue. They got 25 million people. A tongue. We got a whole country with under 1 million people. We got a whole army. We got 65, more than 65 local democratic organs, RDCs, NDCs, CDCs, right? For all we know, and still we can't get certain basics. We got a whole parliament. We got a whole elections commission. All of that, right? And we still can't get basic things right. Could you imagine how those people manage in a town with 25 million? If you got a little handful, as the woman said, a smattering of people in this country, how we make out? Mexico City, 30 million people, right? In Mexico City, 10 million people use the transport system every day. How do they make out? We got one wheel 2x4 and we're struggling to send a letter from point A to B. We're struggling. It boggles the mind. It boggles the mind. I see why people the nurses just want to pack up and beat out.
Most definitely.
Why they got a line in front of the embassy every day? Because the efficiency. The worst thing you can do is try to engage the services here. You know, the migrants, the scheme look nice, but to come home and to engage the systems is nightmare. Any system in this country, you try to engage, you got to make up your mind, it's a whole week you got that. Go, come back, go, come back. You ever try to send a form somewhere? The lady, when you submit the form, she look at the first line, she say, oh, you missed something here. Right? Bring it back tomorrow. Tomorrow she look at line 2. You missed something here. Go and come back. It's mind-boggling the way we work here. And then when you got an administration like this one here, you'll make it any better.
Well, I think
linking letters and so on.
I think that's you see. I think Gcom. I seriously believe that this is a matter that we should not take lightly. I think Gcom needs to respond properly.
I see.
Gcom needs to respond.
Why Mr. Norton says that Singh should go in? I see why. I see why. You can imagine you have a head of Gcom, and she has found in more than 2 years now nothing agreeable with the opposition. Nothing agreeable. Every vote she votes with the PPP, I find something is wrong there. Right? You know, some people may say, I can give them one man. I want things to look bad.
No, but persons have to actually examine the issues, and then you can and then you will see why we are at this conclusion.
Right? And now the biggest issue facing an oil producing country is getting 2 people in the National Assembly. Yeah. Oh, the signature wrong. This will look like his signature. Don't want to look at it.
You know, you could swear that this never happened before. You know, like it never happened before in this country. Like it was never a system in which you replace parliamentarians in this country.
I am certain.
This have to be something that
Mr.
is
Granger,
rocket science.
It's the first time in history, right? I certain, Mr. Granger. I think part of the benefit of being a former president, you have a small staff, you got a personal assistant, and all that. Pick up the phone. You know, we just want to clarify X, Y. That's under our.
Yep. No, but instead of that, the
newsroom. You're going the long way. Draw a circle, no problem.
No. I don't.
Newsroom is the white light.
I don't want us to lose at this point. My point is that Gcom needs to answer. For how is it that the document that is
answer to who?
To the people
when
of this country.
When last you see Claudette have a press conference that can answer anything?
Gcom needs to answer to the people of this country.
When last?
At least we are left to assume that the administration at Gcom willfully
every now and again
this document to the players at newsroom or whomever they sent it to there. Willfully to create this narrative and to push this agenda. And if they do not come out and say that, then it paints the picture pretty clearly as to what we should be expecting in the upcoming election.
You had a whole election, and trying to get information out of Claudette Singh was like pulling teeth. You know, it was painful.
Gcom has a new CEO.
How many times?
Sharad, Gcom has a new
CEO. Is?
That is
it's a set piece. We know that.
Gcom has a new
we know
CEO.
It's a set piece.
They said
it's a set piece.
that they removed persons that was this and that.
And the system more confusing.
Right? That's what they said. They removed person because this, that, and all sorts of things. Now there's a new CEO. They let the new CEO come in and say how under his leadership at Gcom, a document that was sent there is now in the possession of a news agency. All right, let him say that. Let him say that.
You want to waste a lot of time too. We know what it is.
I am calling it out.
We know what it is.
I'm telling you.
Me want to hear nothing from Gcom. Me want to hear nothing from Claudette Singh. Me want to hear nothing from the CEO. It's a set piece.
I don't.
We want to hear from none of them.
I don't see it like that. I beg to disagree. I beg to disagree because of the point that we will come back to this. I am telling you, we will have future events. I'm telling you right now that we will have to come back and say, this is where it started. This was a blatant.
It started from Gokul Gudu.
No.
Who didn't add the thing right and give them an extra seat. That's what it started.
No. We're not looking at it like that. They said that they removed persons because of X, Y, Z, and they put new persons in place. And now with the new people that is there, that is the action that is being had. Okay?
Litigate. That's
so
what
I am That I am Margaret.
Folks, the letter has retained much of our attention right here. That's where we are. One letter, you know.
One letter.
One letter. Is it great in signature? Is it not? I think we should have called in the CID the letter exports and everybody. Bring two from overseas.
Do everything except asking Granger himself if it's his signature. Do everything else.
Right. That being said, folks, that being said, hopefully this gets resolved before 2035. Hopefully.
Oh my goodness.
Hopefully.
They need to answer for it.
You know how you get some movement on this?
I'm not going to do
You know how you get movement from this? Let's say Ron Lynch write a letter and say, what happened to Gcom?
Answers right away.
You can see Clarence in a press conference, right? Every 5 years, Clarence roll out from under rock and say something.
Oh my goodness.
Right? In a very pedestrian mode. Right? You know, when people retire, they should stay retire. You know, people give retirees a bad name. Right? But I understand why you have a retirement age. Because like it doesn't make any sense. I understand.
Well, youth unemployment is on the increase.
But that's another story now. So person of interest. Talking about youth.
That's a hint.
Talking about youth. Talking about youth. Person of interest, Rita.
Yeah, well, the person of interest today is none other than Nicolette Finance. And as persons who don't know, let me just tell you, she has been marking her name. Are you serious? You know this,
Sheridan. Fantastic.
Right? Guyana's premier squash player. And as long as I could remember, I was my first bit of information on the game of squash altogether was through reading about her and her as a player in all of the news. Pick it up, and she has been doing exceedingly well.
She looks like a finance.
Yes, she is a
family.
She is a
family.
She's been doing really, really well, right? I think as it's being reported right now is that Nicolette Finance has rallied her way into the semi-finals of the ongoing Senior Pan American Championship. So and that is being held in Guatemala right now. So we encourage and we support and we send all our love and admiration and backing and all of that
respect
to you, Nicolette Finance. You have been doing the country exceedingly well. We are extremely proud of you, and we continue to encourage all our athletes and we
all our young people continue to strive. Excellent.
Yes,
continue to strive. And the only thing I'll say is that Nicolette Finance has dominated this arena for a long time.
Correct.
Right? And well done. Well done. Thanks for your service.
But a lot of kudos to her, and not just because squash is not as popular in Guyana, but she not only is doing her thing and just playing the game, but she is playing the game exceptionally well, right? And we need to acknowledge that she is doing exceptionally well in the sport, and we need to give her all
respect and manners, pace and power. I love squash. Eat it as much as I can. Thank you.
You are not good.
Love squash.
Well, not that type of squash.
The biggest issue. Well,
we have dealt with so many big issues for the day.
This one big because we're talking about equity and equality in national development. And really, this is something you have talked about. We talked about this yesterday morning, for instance, when we were talking about don't get excited by the GDP.
Yeah.
By the big number, you hear 40% we can grow by, and you talk about per capita income. We right now we should be at 17,000 US. Say in 2020, by the end of 2022, we can be. I think the economist, Mr. What's his name? Yesterday Terrence Yip says we can be per capita income GDP should be 20%, 20,000 US by 2023. Nice time. But he said, don't get excited by that because even though countries are at that level nationally, oftentimes people are still suffering. And it takes good programs and initiatives to really and truly make that kind of wealth felt to each and every citizens. And that was the caution. Don't get excited. And Linden, folks, is a test case, really and truly. Linden is a test case where this is concerned.
Well, a lot. I think you covered a whole lot on that. But when we talk about equity and equality, this is something I've been speaking about for a very, very long time. Practically every time we speak about GDP and when we talk about the income inequality of persons living in our country and all of that, we always come back to the fact that yes, it all sounds like nice and fun and games when you hear announcement that, oh, every household is going to be getting a $25,000 cash grant, or then you hear that we have a 7% across the board increase in wages and salaries, and then everybody say, oh well, everybody getting the same thing, but no one is considering that there's a big difference when you have when you were living in a country where there's such a big disparity between and the gap is so wide between the rich and the poor, that when you go ahead and you continue to do things in that manner with those mechanisms, what you're doing is actually widening that gap, and the rich is becoming richer whilst the poor is poorer in actuality, when you look at the widening of the gap between the two of those income bracket earners. So very, very interesting conversation. One of the examples that we had at the level of the National Assembly when it comes to income, not income rather, when it comes to equity and equality, is the fact that it was none other than Charles Ramsden that came to the National Assembly and was boasting that, they gave $10 million to fix each of these grounds, a couple of grounds, right? And with absolutely no consideration to which needed more and which needed less.
But
right?
yeah, and I think again, Linden is another perfect example that fits in with that, because we had two regional visits by Farsi, the vice what's his name, the vice president, right, who went to Region 2 and then he went to Region 1, and it was gifts, quote unquote, galore.
Promises.
Right? Promises galore. But you wouldn't think you had a national budget that was read. And just the month prior. And lots of the stuff that were promised was not featured somehow in the national budget. So again, one of the points that economist Terence Yip made yesterday that we focused on is the programs that you implement.
Correct.
And one gets the sense, and one letter writer, as you see when we get to the section that says what they said, one letter writer in this morning's paper said, you get the impression that these things aren't being thought out. Look what happened here in the two visits, for instance, you had with Region 2 and Region 10.
Yeah.
Right? You had lots of promises that were made. But how are these promises going to be realized? That is the real question. You had, for instance, wells that were giving out in Region 2. Two water treatment plants are going to be given out. School buses. Students going to benefit from reduced internet costs, subsidized internet costs, 800 jobs, all of that.
But 800 jobs, I mean, you did highlight, we're looking at equity and equity and equality altogether, those two concepts, and 800 jobs. I don't want you people to forget, guys, you're with us, you're listening, you've been joining us every single morning, but we need to remember these concepts that we've been discussing. One of the things I pointed out at the inception was you can't go to Region 2 and say 800 jobs, and then part-time jobs, mind you, and then go to Region 10 and say 800 part-time job, and then you were saying overall it's going to be 8,000 part-time jobs, right? And I asked the question right here on one of our morning programs, just after those two announcements, that what is the proportion of that 8,000 part-time jobs that you're going to bring to Region 4, given the population density in the region? Because you can't go out there and say you're going to go to all the regions and promise them 800 jobs, because in words and on all of that, it sounds all good and nice that, oh, you're being equal with the regions, but in actuality, for the needs of the people, there's absolutely no equity in the way in which you are doing distributions. No need assessment being done as to who needs what and where, and what particular jobs should be allocated to these various areas when you are actually trying to help persons. So lots to be done, and you just don't go out there haphazardly as it's being done.
And you know what? Other folks are of the same impression as well, because when we look at what they said, for instance, you have this letter writer in the morning papers, Mr. Shushan Mohammed, who raised some of those very issues, who talked about, for instance, let me just find my bearing, who talked about the header for the letter in this morning's Sabbath News was 1,600 part-time jobs. That's the question he's asking. And the very, very brief letter, Shamshun Mohammed says, Dear Editor, 1,600 part-time jobs in government agencies were announced in 2 regions as part of the efforts to cushion the rising cost of living. But is that it? What about the other regions? What other measures will be rolled out? 5 billion was set aside in the budget for this purpose, but it seems no plan on how to utilize it for the ultimate benefit of the suffering citizens. This is a letter writer in one of them in Starbuck News. Just today, raising the same question. Where's the plan? Where's the plan? Where's the plan? You mentioned it just now. This haphazard way in which you're doing things. There isn't a very comprehensive way in which this government is saying, this is how we're tackling rising cost of living. And again, why is it? We're such a small country. You can see the British Prime Minister. You can see Keith Rowley. You can see Holiness says, this is our plan. We're going to be doing these 5 overarching things. And then you can have a lot of little things built into that. There's a coherent plan you can follow, right? Here, you go one place, you say, here, off the cuff. That's the challenge we have. And again, Jurita, before you interject, one of the places that have really been hard hit by the wrath of this government is Region 10, even though they go and they give the little trinklets of promises. But we've been tracking here across our platforms what they've been doing with Region 10. And here is what we got, when they went to Region 10, the first cabinet outreach to Region 10 was January 14. Do you think of some eye troubles, something happening here? We got to get her some attention.
Definitely need some access.
January 14th, 2021 was the first cabinet outreach to Linden. And by the time they got there at that time, you had the St. John's Ambulance Brigade. Scores of their employees were dismissed by the administration. Right? The data entry clerks from the National Data Management Authority were dismissed. Linden Board of Governors, employees there were dismissed. Linden Enterprise Networks, employees there were dismissed. The Linden Hospital severed its ties with several contractors. Right? Several contractors there dismissed as well. You had the Forester Security Service that was part of giving service to the hospital, an indigenous business to Linden. That contract was severed. Right? No explanation given, save except there's this perception, you vote for them other people. Right? Double team taxi service. You too, the perception, you probably vote for them other people. Right? You had Mr. Corbett Benjamin, right? Who provided mechanical services, the service of vehicles there, terminated without thinking. Training nurses program. You remember they told us Linden got too many nurses doing the nursing programs. Right? Currently, the call center, they said they're carrying jobs to Linden. They activate this call center. But the workers there, every worker in the call center got a horror story. Right? And then we featured recently the nurses. You imagine you got 2 empty parking lots, Twitter. We talked about that on this program. 2 empty parking lots. And in the nights especially, when they're most empty, right? Nurses can't even go in and park because they say only doctors and sisters can park. The nurses got to park on the road where the vehicles are being vandalized. So, and then they go and say, we love Linden. Yeah. Something seems wrong about this. Something seems wrong about this.
We need to be smart as a people. That's what I'm going to say about that. We need to be smart as a people, and we need to be able to decipher for ourselves what is actually going to benefit us, what is actually going to raise our standard of living, and for us to be able to walk around and live with dignity, and we need to pinpoint with urgency all the nonsense, the bluff and the fluff that is coming, and the political
I love that you've said
that is coming.
I love that you've said that, because the chairman of Region 10, the seat of the Region 10 administration is in Linden, spoke at an event yesterday in Linden as some young people were graduating from one of the government-run programs there in some technical vocations. And he sought to put the cards on the table. You got to speak truth to power, right? They're going to be upset with you. You can do it in a respectful manner. Well, I don't know if they would ever deem it respectful, because, we have an administration here that don't like critics at all. No pun intended. They don't like critics at all. So whether you can do it in a respectful, it will be deemed to be respectful at all. But he spoke truth to power. And again, laying the cards out on the table. Don't come along here funny like you're doing something for us. We know what you have done in the past. And folks, we want to give you a little listening of what transpired yesterday as the regional chairman spoke about some of the things that have been happening in that part of the country.
They're all putting in the work, making the extra effort to ensure that they are qualified to take advantage of any opportunity for gainful employment that might come their way. Unfortunately, this is exactly where our current system of governance fails, as so many Londoners have been put on the breadline recently, with their jobs taken away, and nothing provided as an alternative. That, I shudder to think of what we intend for these 184 newly qualified individuals in terms of gainful employment of their hard-earned skills. Job creation must, and I repeat, it must be a clear and well-structured program of endeavor in our region, and not a flippant handout of temporary jobs. Since these 184 individuals are about to join the hundreds fired from the St. John's Ambulance Brigade, the National Data Management Program, the Nursing Professional and Assistance Program, and many others. Our residents do not have temporary needs for sustenance. They have rights to participation in the economy of our country, to provide themselves with sustainable shelter, food, and other necessities. But all is not lost, and Londoners and residents of Region 10 are a resilient and resourceful people. I will not stand here and let gloom overshadow your special day today. I am here to let you know that your Regional Democratic Council will continue to be proactive.
Yeah, he said it best. I think that I have to say kudos to my colleague there, Darren Adams, and he
doing
has
fantastic
been doing
job,
an amazing job,
fantastic job.
There, and I must say that what he's highlighting there and the words that he's using is he's on point. You know, he's not going there to give a presentation that you're going to make promises, idle words altogether. He's going and say, this is what it is.
This is what it is.
This is what you're facing. This is what it is.
And we got to sit down together and figure out how do we solve this. Right, so you come and you fire hosts and people, then you come back and say, "Oh, we give me 800
yes,
jobs."
Exactly.
But you fire 1,800, right? You know, it's shameless, really and truly.
That's the
shameless,
only way we
really
can
and
put
truly,
it.
very much so, shameless. But that's what's happening.
Yep.
Respect and manners to Darren. Respect and manners to Darren.
Definitely. And as you release our comment section,
I gotta release it.
You know, we are always so thankful for you to join us in the morning as we discuss all of these pertinent matters. You know, today, if I'm to speak about today's program, I'll say that we had several big issues that we dealt with throughout the morning. I think this
I do say so,
to me this morning was a little more weighty, and I dare say I'm going to end this morning's program by saying I'm looking forward to Gcom explaining how that bit of correspondence was sent out
they rubbed me the wrong way here.
They rubbed me the wrong way. You know, y'all could take it however lightly y'all want to, but an explanation is definitely needed. I want to know how this correspondence that was sent into Gcom is there with a news agency. I want to know.
Come on, Gcom, don't come around, we funny.
I want to know. I'm not going to arrest this. I'm sorry. You guys could take it however y'all want it. So probably you're going to say, no, try to make it a mountain out of the molehill. Nope. I pass grow like grass. Old people say so.
Don't come around funny. I pass, hashtag. I pass is grow like grass. You heard it here first, folks. You heard it here first. FYI.
I'm not about to let that go. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. I'm missing Henry, Pauline Austin, Andrew Cosbert, Wesley Ward. You see,
that's our time.
You are right. Thank you, sir.
That's our time. That's our program, folks. Before you go, ensure you have a duty. We got a duty. Bring you credible, valid information. Your duty is to share, share, right? Disseminate, share, and smash the emoji button. Twitter. Share, guys, and smash that emoji button for us. It's good having you. Folks saying they have no confidence in Gcom. Dice pass, people. Joel War says you're correct.
Yes.
Right?
I'm not going to rest this. I think that sometimes we brush over some things too lightly, that things that would have varying consequences in the long run. And this is a first step to show what is to come from the levels of the new people that they put there. This is the first action that we are to put a red flag and say this nonsense must not be tolerated at all.
Yeah. Folks, we really love having you guys here. And we want to keep doing what we're doing because we know how much you value these programs, whether it's FYI, it's Below the Belt, whether it's In the Ring, all of our affiliate programs. And then we have also our affiliate website, Credible Sources. We continue to tweak that and to build it, guys, to get you credible and valuable information. And we encourage you guys to come on board and to partner with us so we can do more of this work in a qualitative way. Right, quantitative and qualitative, that we can do it in a professional way and which reflects you. And we know that we have good people, and we want to give you quality news and information, professionalize what we're doing, and your contribution helps us to do that. Your love and your support helps us to do that. We got several platforms by which you guys can contribute, can support us in the work that we do out front here, guys. We got the Cash App, we got Zelle, we got PayPal, we got MoneyGram, we got Western Union, we got MMG as well, folks. Come on board and partner with us. You want to know how to do that? WhatsApp us, folks, at 627-6963. It's the 21st century. WhatsApp me, 627-6963, and we'll tell you how you can contribute via one of these platforms to keep us out there, folks. Keep us going.
Most definitely, everything that Sherry says, I'm going to amplify that voice over here and said, do what he said. So thank you for being with us.
Share, smash the emoji button.
Thank you for being with us, guys.
Smash the emoji button.
Tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock, and then before that, this midday at 12, and tonight at 8 p.m. See you there. Have a good day.
Stay safe.